Okay, next up on our list of Seattle Mariners stalwarts is Cooper Hummel. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is like the fourth time I've recorded this because I can't say dude's name. I keep calling him Koopel Hummer, which sounds like a car dealership. Go to Koopel Hummer and get the best deal, 0% financing or something like that. And sometimes I call him Corbin Carroll. It's been a disaster. And if we're being completely honest with each other, Cooper Hummel was kind of a disaster in 2023. Now, a small sample disaster. We'll talk about his 2023 season in Tacoma and why I do think there is a chance he can kind of be a thing. Not a great thing, but a thing. But let's talk about something that I know is a great thing first and thank the good people of Simply Seattle. Simply Seattle has the very best in Seattle sports gear. Whether you're looking for stuff for the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Kraken, the Huskies, the Sounders, the Storm, you can find it all there. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, socks, all sorts of great stuff you can find there. Guys, it's November. Christmas is, whether you want it to be or not, just around the corner. And I would recommend finding an awful lot of stuff at Simply Seattle. I guarantee you're going to find stuff that your nieces, nephews, whoever in your life is going to want some of this stuff from Simply Seattle. Hey, here's a way to save 15% off your order too. Use code MOLLYWOP15, MOLLYWHOP15. That will take 15% automatically off your order. It's an awesome deal from an awesome company. Thank you so much, Simply Seattle. www.simplyseattle.com. All right, let's look at those numbers of Cooper Hummel. As I scroll back up, as I mentioned, I've tried to record this video about 20 times. Here's hoping this is in 21. 26 at bats, he hit .087, .192, .130. So a .087 batting average, a 192 on base percentage, a 130 slugging percentage. That is a 323 OPS. That is an OPS plus of 3. That's not very good. And let's talk about some positives. The biggest positive, well, there's two big positives. One of them I don't like talking about. As you probably know, Cooper Hummel, it's such a hard word for me to say. I don't know why, or phrase to say, came over for Kyle Lewis. And I don't like saying this. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Kyle Lewis has an amazing Major League Baseball career. Kind of think he's done. This is now 3 straight years where he's played less than 40 games. And even in his small samples, he's not hitting. He got 16 games and 51 at bats with the Diamondbacks this year, a 459 OPS, the 1 homer, 21 to 3 strikeout to walk ratio. It's just hard for me to imagine he's a thing. So, if you want to call it a positive that the Mariners didn't give away a legitimate middle of the order bat for a guy who at best is bench fodder, you can do that. I don't love it. I would love, and I think the Mariners would even love it a little bit to be like, man, sure wish we had Kyle Lewis. Because I know the Mariners like Kyle Lewis, the person. Unfortunately, the injuries have just become too much. The injuries have just been too much, but I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I'm recording a video on how the hell did they trade Kyle Lewis. The other positive is, in his 104 games at Tacoma, Cooper Hummel was pretty good. 409 on base percentage, a 435 slugging percentage, only the 8 homers. And look, he just doesn't have great pop. That is his biggest weakness for sure. Is that, and he's probably never going to hit for a high average despite his strong numbers that for a very small sample in Reno, twice. It's not his strength. His strength is getting on base, and a 409 on base percentage and a 435 slugging percentage will play, as will 26 stolen bases. And I also like what I saw in terms of what they were doing with him roster wise. Played most of the year at first base. 54 of those games, I believe, were at first base. But he also caught a dozen games. He played in the outfield for a few games as well, more than a few games, something like 37. A guy who can play catcher and first base and in the outfield has some value. It definitely has some value. I guess my question would be, while putting up pretty darn good numbers in AAA, and he's hitting AAA pretty much every chance he's got. The fact the Mariners had no apparent interest in calling up Hummel kind of suggests to me that maybe they're not super high on the dude, because there were lots of chances for Cooper Hummel to come back to this roster. Lots of them. And he never did. Never did. Wasn't a September call up, got sent down near the end of April, and just never resurfaced. In fact, I had to Google Cooper Hummel injury just to make sure, because you look, a lot of stuff happens in a season, a lot of stuff happens in a lifetime. I think we all know that September and October were not Chris Crawford's best friends. So I wanted to make sure I didn't forget about something, but I didn't. The Mariners just preferred to have him spend time in AAA. And I believe he'll turn 30 next year. So this is not a top prospect. This is not a guy who, it's a youth thing and they just want to see him get success and stuff. It appears to me that they just weren't that interested in him. Now, never designated him for assignment. So, can't hate him too much. But with the catcher injuries, and look, he's not a great catcher. He's nowhere close to a great catcher. But, Kelnick missing so much time, some guys just flat out not hitting. I was a little surprised that he never got another chance. I think there's just enough talent here for him to be a 25th or 26th man on a roster. But nothing more than that. It's a nice guy. And I'll be honest, too. It wouldn't shock me one bit if he was designated for assignment between now and April. So, Cooper Hummel. Do you have any excitement about him being a Seattle Mariner? Do you think he'll be a guy who competes for a roster spot next year? Or do you expect him, hopefully, with us seeing a bunch of Mariner transactions, are you kind of hoping that, maybe he hits that DFA waiver wire? We're not rooting for anybody to lose their job, but we're also realistic and know that there's only so many roster spots. Please hit like and subscribe. I promise you there are better players coming. Yeah, Cooper Hummel. I can't believe I finally got this video done.